Hello, beautiful people. Welcome to another edition of Viewpoint. It is an exciting and interactive talk show where we talk as EB. On the show, we talk about everything and anything trendy, ranging from entertainment to politics, health, education, lifestyle, power of community, you just name it. All you need to do is sit back, enjoy, and engage in our conversations. My name is Heidi Zagaladima, and right here with me in the studio, as always, are my gorgeous ladies, Confidence and Rachel. All we do on the show is spark meaningful conversations, inspire change within our community as we engage in honest dialogue. Let's get started. In the words of John Wooden, a coach is someone who can give correction without causing resentment. Our first topic of discussion today is criminal justice reform, that is towards a more just and rehabilitative system. We will also be talking about jumping into conclusions, the pitfalls of hasty judgment, and lastly on the show, we will talk about skills for social impact, the importance of having a skill. All this and more after the break.
Experience the acceleration of Oweleketv. Get the latest news from the glitz and glamour of the entertainment industry to the pulse-pounding realm of sports. We provide accurate and up-to-date information, exclusive interviews with top political analysts that will leave you craving more. Our team of professionals delivers captivating content from Nigeria and beyond. Follow us on our social media handles at Oweleketv. Visit our website at www.oweleketv for a thrilling journey. Oweleketv, rising star at the fairground.
Welcome back. This is Viewpoint, talk show where they talk as EB. In the pursuit for a fair and equitable society, criminal justice reform remains a pressing and important topic. The criminal justice system plays a pivotal role in maintaining law and order, but also carries the weight of addressing issues related to prison systems, rehabilitation, and the fairness of its processes. Criminal justice reforms are necessary because it imposes long-term sentences on non-violent offenders, lacks steps towards rehabilitation, and imposes many other issues, like we said earlier, that deserves attention and improvement. So the question is, how can we strike a balance between punishment and rehabilitation within the criminal justice system? Rachel.
This is a very strong topic, and I think we've not been talking about it.
Yeah.
People seem to be, I don't know if I should call it ignorant, but people are not really talking about it, even though we know how that system is. I want to bring it down to Nigeria because it happens everywhere, but I want to bring it from Nigeria because in Nigeria, when other people are doing something, we tend to do the worst part of it, to do it more. So when you go to prisons, when you see the prison system, you start asking questions. Is it like a correctional center or what exactly? And then these people come out and they become worse. Most of people who go to prison, even if they spend just a few days, when they come out, most of them are coming out worse than what they were before. The prison is supposed to be a correctional center, but then when you go there and then come back, the person, people are now scared of these people, and that's why you see this stigmatization. It's not because people just want to start stigmatizing these people one day. It's because when they go in there and they come out, they become like double of what they were before. In fact, when you watch movies, you see these people when they go out, you start asking questions like, I thought this person went to a correctional center. I think the government needs to look into our correctional center. We have people who are innocent, people who have not committed any crime who are there. Hundreds of people like that. You go there, you see what they eat, you see things happening, you see how one inmate is maltreating another inmate, how you start asking questions. How do these people even get to smoke in the prison? So many things going wrong. And when we see other countries, the way their prison system is, you hear people cracking jokes like, this their own prison better pass even outside life. Because when you see the way the prison is, you eat well, it's just a correctional. They are correcting you, cannot see the outside world. You're being punished for something you've committed. And also, I want us to be able to differentiate between being punished and being corrected. In this our own country, the people who are supposed to be punished are those that are now being corrected. Those who are supposed to be corrected rather, are the ones that are being punished. There was a story one time when someone stole a bunch of plantain, and they said he was sentenced to prison for some years or something like that. Now we have politicians who are eating our money. When they take them to court, that story dies natural. It dies a natural death. But then people who do things, stole gari, stole plantain, slapped someone, skit makers who are using the police uniform or something to, I heard of Cute Abiola recently. Yeah. He's using the police uniform to, I don't know what they say he's doing with it. And the police are quick. The system is, they're quick to pick up these people, take them to court. If care is not taken, within few weeks, that person goes to prison. Look at Eniola Badmus and this lady. The things are so fast. But when it comes to our politicians who are eating our money, for years, if care is not taken, you will not hear about that issue again. I think it's something that needs to be looked into. And then our correctional systems, I think it's, when people go there and come out, there should be a change and not the other way around. When you go there and you come back, it becomes worse. I think the government needs to look into it.
Well, for me, I think the justice system as a whole is already bad. Rachel mentioned something, and she was talking about some of the inmates smoking. Some of these officers that are there to actually mete out this punishment, not, in a way that it will kill them, but you're there to serve, a sentence for a period of time. They're the ones who actually supply them some of these things.
Exactly.
And you'll be shocked that they come out looking worse than, they were when they got in. Some of these people go inside there and form a hierarchy. I've heard stories of people who enter prison and die. Few days, because first of all, taking away somebody's freedom is enough to, kill the person. But then the environment is not even something you want to, be inside there. There are prisoners who are sentenced to prison. They get into that place, and even before they serve half of their sentence, they are dead. Health issues, they bully them inside that same prison where everybody is supposed to be serving different sentences. So the justice system as a whole the criminal justice system as a whole is bad, because even there you have hierarchy. You hear things like sort the organ. So some of them are
answerable to the prisoners.
Exactly. They are working hand in hand with some of these people. And then we talk about the health. Rachel mentioned outside there, it's not rosy anywhere. If you're one who sees most of these movies, sometimes they highlight some of these things that happen in their prisons and their correctional facilities. But when you look at their environments, they have, a good living environment. They play games. They take them out to play games, to keep them busy, because you don't have any contact with the outside world. So you see some of them get into prison and come out, they look fit. So they are in an enclosed space serving a sentence, but the environment is good. At least they eat good food. They even have a cafeteria, inside prison in the US. And then you're wondering, why is Nigeria? What is going on? Because I'm bringing it down to Nigeria. When you see some of the living conditions of prisoners, they are prisoners. They are not animals. Even animals, people who rear animals, give them better living condition, because this person is serving a sentence. It's for a couple of years. All things being equal, the person comes out, or there's something called parole, but then their living conditions is bad. And I like what she said about correctional facilities and then a prison. They are two different things, but you see, this is our Nigeria. It's like they jumble everything together. So anything you
let me quickly chip in something.
All right.
Again, I want us to commend the government. I think recently I saw a story where some prisoners, they said they graduated from Open University. I think we should have more of this. In that prison, there are talents there. There are people who can do a lot of things. I just think they should be corrected the right way. In that prison, they can become even something. When they come out, there will be better people. So I think we should commend them for that part they did and they should do more.
You should continue.
Yeah.
Because in most prisons, you see them acquire skills, you see them acquire a whole lot of things, and when they come out, they have something they can fall back on because they know how the society treats convicts, ex-convicts, and all that. So we would love to hear from you, our viewers, as regards this topic we just discussed right now. So do get involved in our comment sections. We would love to hear from you. Let's go on a quick break. We'll be right back. Please stay with us. Welcome back, and thanks for staying with us. Now moving on to our next topic, we'll be talking about jumping into conclusions. And there's a saying that goes, women and jumping into conclusions are 5 and 6. So in a fast-paced rising world, making quick judgments seems inevitable, but it so often comes with a hefty price. So today we explore the dangers of hasty decision-making and how it impacts our personal lives, relationships, and the society as a whole. The human brain is wired to process information rapidly, leading us to form snap judgments without fully understanding the complexities of a situation. In our personal lives, jumping into conclusions can strain relationships. Misunderstandings arise when we assume we know someone's intentions or feelings without seeking clarity. Okay, so this can lead to unnecessary conflicts, hurt feelings, and severe connections. So how do we differentiate between quick decisions making in critical moments and jumping into conclusions without enough information?
The key is understanding. A lot of people lack understanding. A lot of people listen to reply. You don't listen to understand. There's a difference between, you assess a situation, you assess and you process an information before you make a decision or before you give a reply. So I think what happens most times is people just react. We in Nigeria, we're very reactive. A lot of times we're too reactive more than, that proactivity. So you're exactly reacting on impulse. So because this thing just came hot, you reply hot. And, at the end of the day, like we always say, 2 wrongs cannot make it right. So I feel like if you don't assess a situation, if you don't process that information, if you don't let it sink in, definitely, one is going to jump into conclusion. One is going to just make a hasty decision. And, most times when it happens like that, when you think about it in hindsight, you realize that there's a mistake somewhere. That it's either you're at fault or you didn't think. You hear people say, I didn't think this thing through. I've made a very big mistake. Unnecessary, quarrels that should not even start at that point. Because why? That understanding is not there. Some people just, this person said this thing to me, you just give it back. And then the person will be like, okay, when tempers have, calmed down, the person starts to explain and everybody starts to bring their head together. You find out that, okay, I'm the person that is wrong here. And maybe at that time, the harm has already been done. So like I said, when I started talking, I said the key is understanding. Sometimes that understanding is not there. And so people listen not to understand. They listen to just talk. Right. And most times the connection between the tongue and the brain is not just there. You just talk and go.
Okay, so I need us to understand that there's a difference between using wisdom and then jumping into conclusions. So many times when issues come up, when maybe at the end of it, people will say, I just used my wisdom, I just had to just do that. But then you need to understand there's something I've told myself. The truth is that no matter what comes up, you cannot kill me. No matter who you are, when you tell me something and I do not want to respond to you at that moment, you will not kill me. It's better for you to, when someone asks you something, there are times when you're asked a question and then because you think, if I don't answer now, so many things will spoil. Nothing will spoil. It's better that you keep quiet, tell the person, okay, I'll think about it or I'll get back to you or whatever. You go and think it over and then you come back to give that person a response. Than answering right there, you answer something and that person is hurt. You yourself, you've injured yourself in a way. People need to understand that there's a difference between jumping into conclusions and between using your wisdom or using your brain to answer questions. And then another thing I need people to understand is that there's something I've learned when I'm angry, don't make decisions. Whenever a person is angry, do not take decisions. There are sometimes people will come to you with one kind of words that are halting, words that you want to respond, you want to also talk back. But then you're angry, just keep mute, be quiet, and then you realize that decisions you take when you're angry, when you're now calm and you come back to realize, you'll be like, it was because I was angry. That was why I took that decisions. There are times we regret so many things because you took that decision out of anger. But then when you're calm, you're able to think, you're able to calculate what you should say and what you should not say. Then lastly, I would say this. Jumping into conclusions has done a lot of harm than good. Look, people have committed suicide because of someone jumped into conclusions. Something will happen and you do not understand what that person is saying. You do not understand how that person is feeling at that moment. You don't understand the person's intention. You just jump into conclusion. The person will just go back to think that thing you've said. And when they think, they can take whatever decision that comes to their mind. You need to understand that whatever you say to a person at a particular time can make that person or mar that person. That person can go back to take a decision. That person can go back to do something that will harm you and harm themselves. You need to understand that you don't take decisions at that point because you want to answer a person. You take decisions because you know this decision I'm taking or what I'm saying is something that will not hurt anybody. You take decisions because you know this thing I'm saying will not harm anybody. When you want to take decisions, be calm. Take decisions. Nobody will kill you. Nobody will do anything to you. Last, they will shout at you. They will insult you. But the fact that you do not say what will hurt that person, it even adds to you. It adds more respect to you.
And it stops a whole lot of things. Like Confidence said, it just takes understanding in order not to make rash decisions and all that. And Rachel also said, we need to calm down. If you want to take a decision, take it with discernment. All right. So let's go on a short break. We'll be right back. Please stay with us. Welcome back. And now over to our last topic. We will be talking about the importance of having a skill. In a rapidly changing world, as we enter a new era of technological advancement and globalization, the importance of having a skill cannot be overemphasized. We are living in a rapidly changing world where what was relevant yesterday may not necessarily be of importance today. In this regard, having a skill that is relevant and adaptable to the changing environment is vital for individuals. Individuals possessing unique skills have the opportunity to become catalysts for social impact. Beyond the traditional philanthropy, leveraging talents and expertise can bring about transformative change in communities. Why is having a skill essential for making a social impact? Why is it essential?
Well, like you said, the trends are changing. The world is evolving. Something people need to understand is that, okay, first, it's good to have a skill. It's important you have a skill. A skill cannot be taken away from you. But something people need to understand is that the reason why we have, I don't know if you've heard of carpenter tailors. There are some people who call carpenter tailors. They're fashion designer, but if you take your clothes to them, they will cut it this way and cut it that way and cut it this way. And when you wear it, people will be like, what is this? There are some people when you want to bake a cake and you give them cake to bake. Once that cake is coming to you, the thing is coming like this. I think as the world evolves, as the trends change, you should also change with it. Change not in the negative aspect this time around.
Upgrade.
There are bakers. There are times I'll just be scrolling on my phone and I'll just be wowed. There are bakers who can bake this full house. Like they can bake a standing house. And there's a baker somewhere who cannot even put the icing on it for it to stand properly. There are bakers that you might have learnt in the 90s and there are bakers now that just learnt now. And so you cannot compare. If you have a skill, you need to, as new things are coming, you need to also, there are some people over sabi to know. I learned this work since 20 years ago, and they remain in that knowledge of knowing it 20 years ago. Why not learn as the thing is, as it's coming, you learn with it. And lastly, what I would say is, look, like I said earlier, you can never go wrong with having a skill. Look, people are regretting not, having a skill or not learning a skill when they were growing. I think our education system, is it India or China? There's this thing they do right from when you're growing. Once you enter into the school, they start teaching you that skill, and you grow with that thing till you finish school, you learn that thing. But our own education system, you're in school, you learn social study, you learn economics, mathematics, find X, you find X from nursery 1, you find X till you finish,
Looking for
and there is you won't learn anything. You come out from school, and that's why you see even higher institutions, people graduate, and then when they go into that thing, the practical aspect of that thing, there are so many things that they've never learned. Mass communication, for instance, you learn the theory in school, even though you have a studio in school, you practice, but when you now go outside, you see that there are two different things. I think we need to start putting this practical thing into our educational system. Children need to start learning a skill right from when they are growing, like even from nursery 1, they should start learning the basics of that thing. You get to secondary school, you're able to do something with your hands. You graduate, so that it is not just book in the head. You're able, you know book, you know skill. When you know that 2 things, you go anywhere in the world, or you're a banger.
So there's a saying that when you stop learning, you stop growing. Not not physically, but mentally you begin to deplete, and nobody is an island, right? It's very important to have a skill, not just to impact the society, but for yourself. I always say it, nobody will take it away from you. It is your thing. You worked for it, you know it, and it is making ways for you. Even the Bible will tell you that the gift of a man maketh way for him. So it's good to have something that is peculiar to you, you know, that you're proud of. And then, like Rachel said, evolve. She made, an analogy with somebody who bakes in the 90s and somebody now. The difference there is not much. Both of them are bakers, but the truth is experience, yes. Now, what the 90s might know, who the person baking now may not know it, because right then there were a lot of, creativity. They just wake up and they put their head down. But now, you go to YouTube, you see a lot of things. So there's not much, that creativity is no longer there. It's just, there's a lot of copy and pastes now. That's where I'm going to. So, but it is really important that you have something that you're doing with your hand, something that you know, something. It's not just that, okay, I'm a first class student or I'm a 2-1 student. They pay again, no, that your certificate. When you get into companies, what they ask you is, what can you do? Soft skills, hard skills, skill is skill. Do you understand? Have something that you can, that can work for you at any place you go. If something happens tomorrow, they say, "Whoa, white collar job is no longer functioning." You can bounce back. You can do something with your life. So it's very important.
So definitely all we're trying to say on the show is, as we continue to adapt to a world that is continuously evolving, having the right skill is essential in a rapid changing world. So it sets individuals apart, it provides job security, enhances financial stability, and to crown it all, personal development like confidence and Rachel said. All right, that's it on today's edition of the show. You already know, talk show where they talk as EB. We would love to hear from you, so be a part of our conversation by dropping your opinions on our comment sections, and don't forget to follow all our social media handles displayed on your screen for more exciting episodes of Viewpoint. Do subscribe to our YouTube channel and turn on the notification bell at Oweleketv. Our website is oweleketv. Till we come your way again.